everybody. This is Dominic D'Angelo of SEScoops.com. You might see me now on the Premier Streaming Network, but maybe you're here with us live. How I bit my tongue. Live on YouTube, on none other than Rob Van Dam's YouTube, and it is One of a Kind with Rob Van Dam. Rob, welcome back to your show, dude, for a live episode. We got a special guest here coming up, too.
Thanks, dude. Wow, look how orange I am. I wonder if that's my lighting.
Saturated with color.
I'm not a fan of filters, by the way. Like, it's always so funny when Katie will take a picture, the two of us or whatever, and I look at it, I'm like, oh, you got a filter on. I look like I got, I look like a mannequin or something.
Well, I
never expect it because I never use it myself. And then when I look at it, it's always like, whoa.
See, Rob, you got the good Vegas tan, though. I don't have any sort of tan, so if I have to put a picture up and I look a little vampire-ish, I'll just heighten up the saturation maybe a touch,
Yeah,
just so I don't.
I'm old school. I still go in and I still go in under the tanning bulbs in between when I don't get enough sun. I hate to be really pale, and it just doesn't make me happy when I look in the mirror and I'm pale. And then growing up in Michigan as a pale white kid, my cheeks were really rosy and red. And I that's when I know that I need to get back out in the sun, is when I can start seeing my rosy red cheeks really sticking out. But I have a tanning unit that I use, old school. Even though we learned back in the 80s that's just not good for you, I still
how often do you
a few minutes here and there to maintain.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
How often do you do it, the tanning bed?
Well, it depends on if I get out in the sun or not. You know what I mean? If I get out in the sun 3-4 days a week and get some, and I'm out for at least 30 minutes at a time, which is a lot in Vegas, then or can be enough, then I probably won't use it at all. But if it's if it's been 4 days in a row, and I'm starting to see my paleness come out when I look in the mirror, and it just doesn't feel or look as healthy or whatever, then I'll go in. It's got a 15-minute timer, but I will use it every day for 9 or 10 minutes and still get results. And I'm not very patient, so I like to do it that way better. Doing it more often and in less time, and it'll still add up. That's always been my theory that I've always proven, and it really is something where when I'm in there, I'm like, God, how long has it been, man? It's got to be almost time. It's got to be almost time. I'm counting in my head. We just count another random 30 seconds and add that on to whatever we add. That'll get us there. I go to red light therapy, which is a new, well, not super new, but it's a lot of people don't know about it. And there's one that's exactly like a tanning bed, but the lights are red. And it also has green lights in between, which I never noticed until the guy pointed it out to me, because I started asking him questions, because there's so much to it. Each light is set at an exact frequency, and it does certain things. And so, between being good for your skin and your bones and everything it does to heal you, there's a huge list of benefits. But the real big expensive, it's called Nova Thor, is the bed. You lay in it just like it's a big tanning bed, but it's red, and there's little tiny green lights in between, because those are set at a different frequency. I can't remember what it was, but no one's going to know and be able to relate to it anyway. But same thing though. It's 20 minutes is the full time on that. So it's good to get that while you're there to get the benefit of it. But man, that's hard for me to sit still for that long. That's why I don't like massages or anything like that, really, where I'm just, I want myself back.
I feel that. I think I would go a little nuts, stir crazy, and laying in one of those fucking things. But I've never done it, so I don't know. But guys, hey, we're live.
Can't jerk off anymore. I mean, that was cool in my 30s. You can't do that in your 50s.
No, you can't do that anymore. But we're live, guys, on
No,
Rob
it's okay.
YouTube. If you guys want to chime in, I see Deontay Presley's in here. We got Smitty in here, DT, Bruce Lean, Jerry Baker, Jada's in here. So thank you, everybody, for joining us. Gotham City Comics is in here, too. But hey, Rob, we got an actual guest that you invited on the show here this week. So do you want to do the introductions? And
Yeah, sure. You know, I just invited my friend Tim Chizmar, comedian extraordinaire. What's up, Timmy?
Hey, it's me, it's him, it's Tim. Such a pleasure to join you. I'm so glad I'm on the tanning bed episode. Are they
right, what a way to kick it off.
Yeah, fucking hey. We might move off of that eventually, but
you don't want to do 2 hours
I had
about
notes.
tanning beds? No?
Tim is a comedian, and we work on several projects together. Huge movies like that Pizza Ninja Kitty movie thing, and even bigger ones. No, what is it? What is the name of the Ninja Kitty magic? No.
Spooky Ninja Kitty Pizza. Yeah, it's out. They can watch it on YouTube.
Yeah, I have it on my YouTube page, right? So if you haven't seen it,
Yeah.
dude, I should put that up so that comes up first on the little returning video that I don't know if people can see or not, but it's so annoying when I'm trying to check comments and I got to keep watching the same video over and over. It was thunderstorms for the longest time. And I'm a reoccurring subscriber, I guess. But also, Tim used to be a fucking wrestling promoter in the Pennsylvania area. He does it all.
I was a peddler of flesh.
Shoddy Low. You do it. You've done seen it all like Shoddy Low.
Yeah.
Where in Pennsylvania? Where in Pennsylvania did you promote?
So I used to run a promotion between Pittsburgh.
He's in Pennsylvania.
What's that?
He's
I'm
in
in
Pennsylvania.
Oh, are you? Okay,
Yes.
So Norm Connors, you know Norm?
That sounds very familiar.
You don't know Norm Connors.
All right. Well, I got started. I used to run out of Titusville, Pennsylvania, Meadville, Pennsylvania, Erie, Pennsylvania. And in the early days, we used to use Jim Miller's NWA license because in Pennsylvania, they still had the athletic commission involved. So it wasn't like theater. It was you had to go through the damn commission. So we did that for a year, connected to the NWA before we got our own license permit insurance to do our own shows. But from September 2001 until February 2004, I ran shows in Pennsylvania.
No shit. So yeah, I'm like Erie's my area. I'm basically like 2.5 hours away. Have you ever heard of Du Bois or anything like that? Du Bois, PA? Or
yeah, I understand. Michael Jackson did that.
Yes, exactly. Yes, that's the running joke with Du Bois. But
still waiting for Rob to catch up. Hey, Rob, you look orange. Why do you look orange?
Hey, thank you. It's a combination of green and red. Like it make orange. This happens. But also, Tim is an author, director, producer, athlete. Well, baby, yeah, I wasn't gonna say that. He said he would keep his clothes on. He's a nudist too.
Yeah.
Wow, you're a jack of all trades.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm a jackass of all trades. I do everything not to have a normal job. But if you're curious of the history of RVD and me, I graduated college, moved to California, sold a screenplay, and I still had my heart in pro wrestling. So I started doing some shows with Jesse Hernandez, who's a wrestling promoter and a former WWE referee. And thank God I did, because when I started doing live stand-up comedy shows, I had the idea. I had heard that Rob had taken a break from wrestling, and he said he didn't want to travel and he didn't want to wrestle. And so I had the idea, well, you don't have to travel because you're already in California. Why don't you try stand-up comedy? So I reached out, and he verified with Jesse that I wasn't a piece of shit like so many other promoters. And then we had a phone call and started doing some shows together. And by God, it's been over a decade.
Wow.
Boom.
How's about that?
Yeah.
How's about that? Now, Tim,
I had forgotten about that Jesse Hernandez connection. Good guy, Jesse. Shout out to Jesse.
Yes.
San Bernardino and his wrestling school, whatever it's called right now.
The School of Hard Knocks.
No, dude, that's the one in Burbank, isn't it? The Gangrel and Rikishi were doing? Yeah, you got it fucked up.
You think?
Yeah. Yeah, because his was out in San Bernardino. Yeah, I think School of Hard Knocks is the one that Rikishi and Gangrel and fuck, we shot the video to my theme song there. Rob Van Dam, the whole fucking show. That song that I use in TNA, we shot the video to that at that wrestling school in Burbank that you're talking about. And Ricardo Rodriguez was one of the wrestlers there, and so was what's his name? Big dude that's like married to the blonde girl that they used to play Russian.
Miro.
Yeah, thank you, Miro. I was thinking Hilo. Miro. Anyway, he's in that video too, man. These guys were training there at the School of Hard Knocks when we were there making a music video.
In real time.
Fact check it. It's tough to do in real time, Tim.
I need to put that on my YouTube page now too, now that I mentioned it. And then put it on an end cap so you can click there and watch it after. Write that down for YouTube, Chris.
But Jesse's a good guy, and I always see him at the CAC convention in Vegas. And Dom? Why don't you come to Cauliflower Alley?
I got to. Like Rob was talking about it. He went there like a couple months ago there, and Blue Meanies communicated with me about it. I gotta go. It's a big
absolutely
thing.
Yeah.
Tell me a little bit too how you got started into comedy too. Stand up.
Sure. Yeah, absolutely. So when I graduated from college and I moved to California, I wrote a screenplay with two friends of mine, and it was a comedy screenplay. And in order to say, this is great. Sometimes the greatest things are when you don't know the rules of the business. And because I didn't know the rules of selling a screenplay in Hollywood, we needed a star attached to the screenplay. We wrote this screenplay about a black guy who goes into NASCAR, and it was a lot of like.
It's gotta be black.
Because we're trying to get the woke crowd. No, I'm just kidding. It was 2005. There was no woke yet. But it just happened to be he was a black guy in NASCAR, and a lot of the humor was fish out of water, that he didn't belong there, that it was old rich white guys, that sort of thing. Anyway, I needed a black comedian attached to it. I couldn't get to Chris Tucker. I couldn't get to Chris Rock, but Eddie Griffin was playing at the Ontario Improv. So I went there with a cardboard cutout because I didn't know any better. And on one side, it said, "Hey, Eddie." And on the other side, "Screenplay for you." And I stood at the back door and I waited. And the security checked in with me like, is this guy going to try to shoot him or something? No, he's harmless. And then the limo pulled up. He was the comedian for the weekend. He got out of the car. I held up my sign, and he's like, all right, a fan. Then I flipped it over, "Screenplay for you." And he walked over and said, "What do you got?" And we started talking. He gave me his publicist information. I attached to the screenplay. We were able to option our very first screenplay. And then through the Ontario Improv, I started doing stand-up comedy. And then I knew very early on that it's a business. It's show business. It's not about, working the open mics for 20 years in the hope somebody sees my genius. I went straight to the general manager and I said, "Give me a night where you sell the least tickets and I will fill those seats." They gave it to me. I filled it. And pretty soon I was doing weekends and Ontario, Irvine, Hollywood, Brea, John Lovett's Comedy Club, and then Rob on board with us. And we were having a lot of fun. So I was doing road gigs and tours, and it was, I was learning on the job, but I don't have a problem with being shy. So good time.
How about that, dude?
Boom! I knew Tim was going to bring some energy to the show. Boom! He's always got energy, and he's always loud. And I know right now it looks like, okay, they must not have shit to talk about, so they got this guy totally take over. But it's not like that. He's going to be able to kick in his insight on any subject that you bring up.
Yeah,
Tim has seen it all, just like Shadi Low.
Tim,
movies, Comic-Con, wrestling, whatever you want to talk about. I'm your Huckleberry.
Tom, Tim, do you follow the Modern Product to keep up with everything too? Like, are you current fan or just legacy fan, or how are you?
Like a lot of people in fans, I think behind the scenes is more exciting these days. I think I mostly follow the gossip and the trends and what's going on. I rarely watch the product unless it's like a clip of the show later. So, to be honest.
Yeah. And that's how a lot of people are doing, right?
I'll be honest about that one thing.
Get ass out of here. Take that somewhere else.
Is this podcast just for lying? Is that
we're all
just
about
pure lies?
It's not this one, sir.
Okay. All right. I've been told.
Well, Chris Dyer says Chizmar rules. He's even paid $2 to say that. So thanks, Chris.
To say what rules?
Yeah, he says Chizmar rules.
Chris Dyer, let me tell you, Chris Dyer runs the Podcast Producers Guild, which has its location out of Las Vegas. So he's a guy who knows his podcast. So,
how about that? Well, hey.
Well, don't I didn't warn you before I invited you, but we got like 12 listeners, and so this was really just kind of like hanging out.
It's just basically hanging out. What it is.
It's basically just like catching up once a week. Hey, Dom, and then we let those 12 people in on it.
Yeah, right. That's what we decided. To just let a couple more folks in. So
that sounds great. Good. I'm glad I'm here. So.
Maven, everything that Maven does, he gets 250,000 fucking views on doing a video. And it's like, yeah, that's a total different game than we're doing. We're working our way up to 17 people.
We're
Brother, I go back to RVD TV. I go back to visiting the locations from Back to the Future. So whatever you got going on, I'm part of it.
Do that, man. That is true.
Well, cool. Let's guys, if you guys want to chime in, any live tuner-inners there, if you want to chime in, feel free to use the super chat. We'll get to your questions definitely if you use the super chat. You can also try to put a question in there, and if I see it, I'll happen to try to put it up there. But definitely use the super chat. We can get things. And also, if you're liking what you do, hit the thumbs up, comment on there. That helps the algorithm get cooking and gets the word out about the show too some more.
Congratulations to Fonzie, who got married 1 week ago from tonight. No, last night. No, tonight. I don't know.
It was tonight because last week you said he was getting married.
Yeah.
So yeah, it is tonight. Rob, where did he get married at? Was it from where he's living? Is he?
I don't answer questions.
Okay. Do I got to do this?
I didn't realize you were a cop, Dom. I didn't realize. That's the new thing. Don't answer anything a cop asks you.
Right.
Yeah, I think Florida, but I don't know for sure.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Let's get to some modern.
We'll have him on next week, and we'll talk about it.
Yes, I like that.
Word.
Let's get to some mod. Ooh, hey, whoa, holy smokes. Venus Beach, VBI. Let's kick it right off with a fan question here. Yeah, I made it live. Non-wrestling question. Does RVD have any favorite Christmas memories from childhood? I'm loving the podcast. Great job, Dom, too. Well, thank you.
Oh, that's why you picked that one, huh?
Oh, you paid $20 too.
Do I have any favorite Christmas memories from childhood? You know, for me, like it was, I mean, I'll answer it. I'm not blowing this up, but these are the thoughts that collect in my head when I get this question. It was always like such a great, joyous, happy time of year. You know, you get off from school, and then plus, you know, it's exciting, and you get toys that I've been asking for. You know, damn it, I need the new Walrus Man, the new Greedo Star Wars action figures, and you know, hopefully that's what's under the tree. It was always cool. That's why, like, I still think it's like for a kid, like as an adult, you know, I don't get into like really any of the holidays. Even like my birthday, it's like, hey, you know, I might or might not do something. Several years in a row, I don't. But anyway, you know, it's not like a negative thing, but it's like I guess I don't feel like I can like recreate those feelings from like when I was a kid, you know what I mean? And then the whole gift giving thing is awkward because either I'm going to buy something if I need something, or unless people are really good gift givers, but I'm not. And that's why it's awkward for me, because I'm like, fuck, you know, like, you know, it's rare that something just pops into my head. I know what it'd be. So then, you know, as a kid, you make a list, you know, like, what's the point of that though? As a kid, okay. But, you know, but it's like, okay, what do you want for Christmas? Okay, I'll be back in a couple hours. You know, what kind of fun is that? I don't know.
Well, I got a question for you. How do you feel about no snow? Because you're a Vegas guy. Like,
I hate snow, and that's the one. Like, it was fun as a kid. I like to have snowball fights and build snowmen and slide down the hill and shit. But man, I'd be fine if I never see snow again. And that's something too. Like now, not only is it like a time that's passed, but now it's like the shortest day of the year. It's the darkest, coldest time, and it's depressing, you know. And it's like rush. Everyone's out there rushing around in traffic, and the malls all the stores are overcrowded with people that feel obligated and forced to be out, you know. So there is that too. And if I sound like a bah humbug, you know. Yeah.
Well, I grew up where Dom is, so I'm in between both of you. I hate snow, hate it. I think it's an abusive relationship. You know it's coming every year. You know it wants to kill you. There's black ice. It doesn't matter how good a driver you are, whiteouts, black ice, and especially us in Pennsylvania, deer jumping in front of you. Yep. I have so much anxiety, and I hate driving in it. Shoveling, snowing, de-icing. So it's the prettier than any snowflake.
I hate deers running in front of the car in the wintertime too.
Do you hate snow, Katie? Katie, do you hate snow?
I don't hate it. I don't like the deers running in front. I can get behind that. But snow doesn't bother me that bad. But if I live somewhere where it was a big deal, I bet I wouldn't like it because driving in it is scary. Oh, it's scary.
Yeah, she thinks it's pretty when it comes on. Hey, are you sure you're just going to Walmart?
Oh my God.
Have fun at RuPaul, Katie. That's where I hear you're going.
Yeah.
That's pretty
now,
awesome.
Be honest. Are you going to just sit on the top of the Christmas tree? Because you are pretty sparkly.
Hey,
thank you.
Looks great. I love it, Katie.
Thank you.
Yeah. Oh yes, VBDC did add, Rob, that you are a little grinchy with the Christmas.
I know I am, but you know you don't have to be with me that often. Like at least people that have to be with me can deal with it. But I don't think I complain a lot. It's just it's just like I'm ready for it to pass. I miss summer. I'll take spring. I love it when it's nice out. We get some surprise warm days in between the cold ones here. That's one thing about Nevada. I mean, California was consistently 69 degrees and like always, depending on where you're at, but like in LA. Here, it gets so fucking cold. I'm complaining. I'm bitching. I do complain about the cold. That's not the same thing as Christmas, though. And then we get a few warm days in it. So at least it kind of balances out.
Brother, I think you did California right. You were a Venice Beach guy. You were always at the water. I wish to God when I thought of California, I could think of the beach, but I think of nothing but 5 lanes of traffic and
yeah.
I'm with both of you guys, though. I hate the snow. I don't like the cold. It's just not for me. But I'm still in Pittsburgh, so
when are you moving, Dom?
I gotta make a plan, a game plan, and an escape plan to get out of here at some point. Once I have the funds, I think.
Well, if it's anytime soon, it will involve a shovel.
That's it. That's gonna be it. So guys,
I am not. I'm not avoiding, but I don't have anything coming up in that part of the country for a while. I was supposed to be in New Jersey on the 29th, I think, of December, but that's pulled now. So if you were looking forward to that one, don't. And
happening.
No, man. At least I'm gonna stay where at least I have my orange tanning bed.
That's it. Stay warm in that baby.
Yeah, it's like 60 degrees here now in the daytime, which is pretty decent, especially when the sun's out.
Yeah, absolutely. Rob, you are going to be, I think somebody asked, I know on social media, are you going to be at like in Philly, like for WrestleCon, I think. And I think you were announced for that too, actually.
Yes. God willing, meaning, if I'm still alive, that's a long time away, but hopefully. Yeah. No, but I will be. And yeah, I'll be there at WrestleCon and working on a few other appearances. That's usually what we do. WrestleCon week, usually, like, since all the wrestlers are in town, they're appearing all over doing different things sometimes. So was it last year at Dallas? Seems
last
like it.
Year was LA.
Oh, okay. Oh yeah, right. Yeah.
Right. It was chaotic there.
Yeah. I was just remembering and when I was in Dallas, like I also did somebody's podcast, and I went and that guy that cracks people's backs, like it's a gimmick.
I've seen that.
Yeah, I went to his place, and they were all just paid appearances, you know what I mean? But it was like you fill your schedule up, like boom, I'm here from Thursday to Monday, and or whatever, and then boom, you go to work. And usually there's like 35 different wrestling shows going on in a few days, so several at the same building, right? You know,
Absolutely,
pretty big event, and I will be there, especially because it's Philadelphia.
Tim, real quick, what were some of your favorites growing up as a kid? You were a fan growing up, I'd imagine, right?
Oh, of wrestling?
Of wrestling, yeah. Sorry.
Yeah, very much so. I was lucky in that my family didn't have the is it real, is it fake? It was our football. So my grandfather was a big wrestling fan, and we just grew up. It was wrestling. So, you know, Andre the Giant in the 80s. And the weird thing is I can't pinpoint when I stopped watching wrestling. I just know it was a big part of my childhood. And then when I was in high school, one of my buddies became a huge Shawn Michaels fan, and he reintroduced wrestling to me circa WrestleMania 12. And I shit you not, I went to the video store. Do you guys remember video stores? And they used to have sections dedicated to like horror or sci-fi. There was in Pennsylvania. Wrestling. There was a wrestling section, and I watched every damn video they had, WCW, NWA, you know, whatever it was. And then from that moment on, I was the nerd who knew the title lineages. I knew all the ins and outs. I could watch, look at the title, and I know the title didn't change hands there because that was 3 months later with so-and-so. I was back in, and it's never left me since. It'll always be in my blood. And I find even people who try to act cooler than being a wrestling fan, I'll be on set of a movie or something, and they'll come over to me, hey, yeah, I don't really watch wrestling, but and then, you know, 2 minutes later, they're talking about the history of the Four Horsemen.
Right. There's something that they dig.
Everybody acts like, and come on, there are so many. There are more fans than who admit that they're fans.
Absolutely, absolutely, there is. It's true though. Like I've been in Ridgeway, Pennsylvania. I'd had a video store right in the back wall. You go straight to the back. There's all the wrestling video VHSs there.
Absolutely, yeah. And then when they were coming out, you know, in the Attitude Era and all this and that, you remember? I think it was called Capital Carnage or something. There was one that was overseas, and somebody got topless. Was it Jacqueline? I think Jacqueline
or Sable, one of those.
Yeah, got topless on it. I remember being like, how did this, you know, here it is.
Like she showed her tits on the VHS.
Sable had the handprints over hers. I remember that happened.
Yeah, I don't, but Jacqueline I bet you somebody in the comments knows what I'm talking about. They did a whole thing where she got topless, and they continued wrestling. They like lifted her up and did a move, and I was like, how did this? Yeah, it was pretty shocking, but it was pretty fun. And so, yeah, brother, I've always been on the wrestling bandwagon forever.
Okay. Hey, good to know. Good to know. Well, let's talk a little.
And the nude wagon too.
The nude wagon.
Yeah, look,
usually right beside the wrestling section in the video store, there was the porn section too.
How dare you, Don? Now listen here. I am a card-carrying real nudist. We separate sexuality from nudity. I will tell you, nude isn't lewd. We are not closed-minded, and nudists don't belong in the closet because that's where clothes is.
Every time, ever since he saw that video with Jacqueline, Tim can't keep his tits away.
I said that's a great idea. Good.
Yeah.
I love that about Tim because I'm like, I think he's the only person in the whole world that loves being nude more than me. Like he gets it. I love it that we're not closed-minded.
Hey,
that was good.
Did you know the naked comedy I did got nominated for 2 awards?
I bet.
At the award over 30 critics approved. It was nominated for WTF, and it was nominated for best indie movie shot under 100K. So
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Hey, congrats.
It's like the Oscars for indies, so it was pretty cool.
That's pretty awesome.
Oops.
Uh-oh.
You gotta leave it on.
Always doing this to me.
You gotta leave it on.
I need to look for my lipstick.
Yeah, we do naked comedy tours, bike rides, marathons, but it's all non-sexual. So it's nudist resorts and beaches and hot tubs and hot springs.
As long as the seat stays on the bike.
So he's always been on me about the nude bike rides. But that's another crazy thing about
not on him, literally.
You could have 700 naked people on bicycles ride through your city with a police escort. Doesn't even make the news.
I believe it. I mean, you look at New York City too. It's like people don't get fazed by anything there. Like you see,
and they have the top freedom, the free the nipple stuff, so women can be topless in New York.
yeah.
But what if somebody in a car plowed through said naked bikers? That would make the news.
That would definitely make the news there.
That's kind of popular to do. They did that out here in Vegas. Might have been the OG one out here.
Really?
No. What was one of the first ones?
Holy shit. That would change things up.
Yeah, but that's a big. I'm definitely an advocate for it, and I'm always a proponent for it, and I'm always involved in the organizations of the clubs and all that kind of stuff. Yeah,
for running over people in your car.
Yeah, that's exactly what I said. That's what I said. I am a proponent of. I would like to go on the record as saying that I am in favor of running people over with their Tromaville. Yes, Lloyd Kaufman, my good buddy. That's where the Noodles of Noodling. It's streaming on Troma now. You can watch it. My movie. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I'll always remember that scene when they're in a car and they just thought it'd be a good idea to like run over kids and they just started like boom and people really did that. People did that recently here.
Yeah, I think it was about they did a remake of The Toxic Avenger with Peter Dinklage.
That's what it was. That's what it was.
Y'all, this is my girlfriend.
Hi guys.
Hi, girlfriend.
How are you?
Hello.
You were here last week too, weren't you? We saw you last week.
Yeah, that was me.
Yeah. What's your name again?
Jeanette.
Jeanette. Okay. Nice to meet you.
Yes.
Bye,
have fun, ladies.
Yay.
Yeah.
Tell RuPaul I said what up.
What up?
Where are they going? They're going to a club or what?
You're going to a RuPaul show.
Oh, no kidding. Wow.
Yeah.
We can see your barber.
Barbie's gonna hang out.
Yeah.
Barbie's gonna hang out.
Where's P3? She's right here. P3 still hanging in there.
Yeah.
Still on her.
It's not eating very much. I don't know if she'll be with us next week.
Oh, geez.
But she has surprised us so far.
She's been kicking out, that's for sure.
Well, you and her are coming to the party tomorrow. Is that for sure? Locked in the Afro Man thing?
Afro Man.
Yeah.
Yeah.
For sure.
All right.
I want to go.
Yeah, but nothing's really for sure though. I gotta see what part where it is.
Y'all get one good look at my outfit before I head out.
Come on.
Heck yeah.
With the yin yang bag.
But also the fucking
Oh, wow. That's so cool.
the rodeo too. When do you want to go to the rodeo?
I want to do that too. I got it.
Can't do everything tomorrow.
Okay, we can do that tomorrow.
We're doing everything tomorrow, I guess.
Yeah.
I forgot the rodeo was in Vegas.
Yeah, a friend of mine, I forgot he's been here. Oh, cool.
Bye, ladies.
Bye, be safe. Safe. I love you.
It's so gross with all this love. Dom, do you have a special somebody in your life?
Just my cat, that's it.
I love my cat, and my cat just died 2 months ago, so I'm fostering 2 kittens right now.
Oh, that's good. I'm sorry about your cat. That's rough times. It is.
It's very rough
to deal
times.
with. Tough to deal with.
Yeah. It was very sweet boy. Yeah.
I'm always throwing lines out there, see what happens though when it comes to the single life. But hey, I have a relationship with these podcasters here, these listeners.
We all can't be Rob Van Dam. All right.
We can't be Rob. We can't be Rob.
You're one of a kind. Otherwise, we have to change the name of the fucking podcast.
Right.
Two of a kind.
It's not three of a kind. So.
All right, Barbie. I got you. I heard you. Yeah. So anyway,
talk a little wrestling topics here. I have some.
Hey, I just wanted to bring this up. Like I was watching something, like wrestling. I watch YouTube every fucking day, and usually most of it's courtroom shit and First Amendment audits and some wrestling, some mobster stuff, whatever. But anyway, you didn't know that?
No, I love that you're into that. What, Nasty Nathaniel, First Amendment rights, Amagansett Press? What are you into?
I like Honor Your Oath. He's one of my favorites, and also Sean up in New York. What's that audit? The I don't know, but I like Audit the Audit, and James Freeman is awesome.
Sure.
Um,
Acura Amanda. I mean, I'm a huge fan. It's the greatest game of I'm not touching you. I love it. I freaking love it. You know.
Some of them like Dirty D. That guy is, like appreciate what he does, but he's like so rude, and offensive. Like he'll just walk up on someone that's like, police are checking out a car or whatever, and he'll come up on the camera and they'll say, "Whoa, back up, don't get so close." Like, suck my nuts, fuck you. It just starts, but that's just in my opinion. But I appreciate what he does. Same thing with Deletes Laws or whatever that guy. I don't know if you know him.
Aim Against the Press is great.
He's a bit pompous.
They get the backlash.
Dude, I watch every day. I watch hours of it.
Great. Those are great. I love it.
And they replay, so I watch it make its rounds. Sometimes learn something different. They'll give you an update on something that happened on a case, that was particularly interesting or whatever. But yeah, definitely. I'm a First Amendment guy.
That's great. Well, it's important for the public to know that photography is not a crime. That if you can't trespass the eyes. If I can see it, I can tape it, and so what? If you don't like it, you have no expectation of privacy in public. That's.
Do you think it's weird that they still call it videotape, even though there's really no tape anymore? They do though. They still call it that. Everyone does though.
Yeah,
hey, videotaping me?
Yeah.
Even like if I record something on my fucking Xbox or whatever, I'm just like, yeah, I'll tape it. It's like, there's no tape.
And they said that with their phone too. I can videotape anything I can see. Yeah. Also, that's one, like, people don't know. It's amazing. I've said that before, Tim. It's amazing how many people think that you have to have their right. And I don't know where they get it, but they're ready to die behind their knowledge. They're so sure. They'll be like, it's a federal crime, buddy. You're going to jail. You do not have my permission to film me.
Right. And it's so fun to watch how fast that changes. Like there's a video, I'm sure by now you've seen it, where this one guy gets in somebody's face about it. Like he's, like, oh, I'm so tough. I'm, this and that. And the guy pepper sprays him. And in 2 seconds, he's crying for his mom. Like,
There's a few pepper spray highlight videos that have all those in it. But then also another thing is, like, police don't fucking know. They think that if they go up to anybody and ask for ID, that person is supposed to give it to them, and that's so not fucking the way it is. That's not the way. And so that's mostly what it's over a lot of times. When Officer of the Law asks you for your ID, you have to present it if you suspect me of committing a crime. Well, I don't know yet. That's not the way it works. Oh, you're
right. Suspicion isn't a crime. Yeah.
Right. Is that a felony or a misdemeanor? Suspicion of what? Of a crime that I have committed and about to commit and committing.
Right.
But also, one other thing though, it's amazing how many police think it's illegal to swear.
Wow. Really?
Yeah.
That's the thing?
Yeah,
I think I heard, and you're from Michigan. I heard there was a law in Michigan that if you use profanity around women and kids, it was still on the books. I don't know if it's like a specific city or what, but they were citing it.
Yeah, I don't know. It's funny you mentioned that, because one time when I was a kid, and this is like 16, 17, like the cruising years when, you have a friend that has a driver's license, so you all pile up in a car. And Marshall was next to Battle Creek, and that was the cruising strip. Like there was a strip that went, back and forth. And anyway, I remember being dumb, and I guess I knew it was a cop. The fucking I don't know if he was standing, I can't remember, but I had my head out the window at the cop, and I just said, "Fucking A!" And he was like, "Pull over," and he wrote me a fucking ticket, and it was I think it was. I don't know if it was disturbing the peace or disorderly conduct, some bullshit. But now all these videos, you're like, well, who's the complainant? Someone has to be a complainant. If you're telling me I'm disturbing the peace, who the fuck am I disturbing? And the cop can't be the complainant, or they can't solicit the complaint. That's illegal. And
it's been proven in law that if you flip them off, that's the First Amendment.
I know. I love those videos. Yeah. Did you see the one where the guy? He looks like a kid, but he's probably 20, but he's walking on the side of the road.
Yeah.
Oh, I
Yep.
love that. I've seen that so many times, and every
Yeah.
time it's worth rewatching. Yeah, the cop wants to bust him so bad. He's like, "Why'd you pull me over? Because you flipped me off. That's not illegal, dumbass." And it's so funny, especially at the end when the other cop's there too. And he's like, "I didn't do anything illegal, but you said fuck you." He's like, "Yeah, fuck you." I love that.
Yeah, I'll say it again.
Fuck you, dumbass. What are you going to hold me for? And then they start getting stupid. And he's like, "Okay, then I'm not going to talk anymore. I'm going to plead the fifth." He's like cracking himself up and doesn't even know that they're on camera.
But jeez.
And then he's like, "Oh, you got your body cameras on? Oh, sweet. That's great." Like, he didn't even fucking know he was putting on such a good show.
Yeah, I'll do a Freedom of Information Act and then put it on YouTube. So, we can all enjoy it for years to come.
How could that be illegal to have your middle finger up? You know what I mean? Like, oh.
Yeah. How do you document that? Or
It's your own body. How can it be illegal to put your body in a certain way? Like, you know what I mean?
I'm the guy to talk to
action
about
are you
that.
really taking?
Hey, that's why us nudists say what we do. Why is it illegal for me to walk down the road naked? What am I doing? How am I hurting you? I'm literally the way I was born. You don't say, "Oh, look, a naked cat, a naked horse. There's a naked Tim." So what?
Rob, you were gonna say something though before you had a topic you wanted.
No, I think I was just gonna further elaborate on the fact that the action that you're taking when you flip someone off, you're not even saying anything. It's just choosing to have one finger up and the other four fingers down, and that alone they try to make a crime. It's like. That's funny.
As you know, you've spent a lot of your career behind marijuana. We've watched laws change in our lifetime. My father did time in prison for marijuana, and now you can open your own marijuana business. So just because it's a law doesn't mean it's right.
Right.
Ain't that the truth?
The times they are changing. So, speaking of changes,
we did. I wanted to say one more thing about cops. Have you ever? I've seen this. Friends of mine who went into law enforcement wanting to do it for the right reasons, and then people treat them like they're a dick. And then I check back in with them later, and they're kind of a dick. So it's like they also had a hand in shaping them from being like, "I want to help people, I want to serve," and then now they're a prick. And it's like, well, people kept going oink oink at them and shit. So.
Yeah. I mean, it's a position that is. It takes a lot of control. It takes almost a robot to not become emotionally involved in their actions. But even besides that, just the authority that they have, it's perceived as so much more than it really is, and so people like they're a threat, like my whole life, whenever I'm in a car with someone that's driving and they see another cop car, they always like hit their brakes and slow down a little bit, even if they were going the speed limit or whatever. It's like a reflex thing, like, and all of a sudden they get like a little nervous going by the cops. And anyway, cops are used to that. Until recently, there was no transparency, so they got away with whatever, like the walking tall sheriff, carrying a baseball bat and just busting heads and doing whatever. That's really how it was, and now they're. I love watching Karma and watching corrupt cops that push it too far, that actually do violate people's rights.
Have you ever seen that? Have you ever seen that William Friedman movie Cruisin' with Al Pacino about the gay murders?
I heard about it. Kevin Nash was actually talking about it on his podcast.
Well, check this out. There's a moment where they're interrogating a guy, and a black man, a big muscular black guy in a little Speedo, walks into the room and slaps him out of his chair and then walks back out of the room. And when you watch the movie, you're like, what the hell was that about? But when you do the research, they used to do things like that, the police force, because now that guy can't say it happened. Everyone would be like, you're insane, that you're making it up. That's why they would do stuff like that during their interrogation, because you couldn't complain about it.
Wow.
Why couldn't you complain about it?
Because I tell you, the cops took me in for an interview, and halfway through, a man in a Speedo came out and slapped me in the face. Nobody, it has no credibility. Nobody believes it for a second.
Okay.
Isn't that outrageous?
That is pretty wild. I heard that movie Cruising is wild itself. So
Yes.
But cool. Well, Rob, what I did want to start with, before I hopped on here, some news broke regarding one Kenny Omega. Apparently, he is hurt and he is out indefinitely. This is the second time he posted a picture of himself in the hospital bed. Said, "Can't really sugarcoat this. I'm out indefinitely. Tried to keep pushing past this pain as long as I could until it became too much. Luckily, doctors caught me when they did. I'll be here in the meantime. Please enjoy wrestling." Rob, you're not somebody that got injured too often that put him on the shelf, but I kind of wanted to get your perspective on it too. When you had that kind of time off, especially after your leg, when that happened in ECW, what is a good mindset to kind of have when you're on the shelf for that long, and how tough was that for you?
Well, there was the time when I broke my ankle and had to give up the television championship. That one was very tough for me, and I was probably only out a month, maybe. I'm sure I probably came back early and broke my cast or something, but it couldn't have. I mean, maybe 2 months was, you probably only need 8 weeks for that anyway. But I don't know. I don't really remember. Maybe it was longer than that, but it doesn't seem like it. But then anyway, I really thought that I was indestructible before that. So that did a lot to my ego and, humbled me, made me realize also how important stretching and sticking to my technique was, because broke my ankle on the one night that I didn't stretch because I was running late. And then when I tore my ACL in WWE, that sucked again, but it had been hurt for 4 years and it just been getting progressively worse and worse. It killed me every single night. People don't know that when they're watching my matches from 2001 to 2005. Pretty much every night my knee was killing me and I didn't want anybody to know, because I was like, I can still go. So the pain is just for me to deal with. That's my business. So,
didn't you have an eye issue as well? Like part of a table went through, you injured your eye, didn't you?
Well, that I didn't miss any time for that. So all that was, a flesh wound that got sewn. But what I was going to say about the WWE, it was hard. I did feel like really crushed. I felt like I was letting Vince down, because I felt like I was selling this package to him that I could let me be me. I'm not going to get hurt, because they were always concerned because of my style since I came in, that you're not going to be able to do all that shit, flip into the floor when you're working, 4 or 5 nights a week. And of course I still did, but eventually, because I hurt my knee before I got to WWE, and it just got worse and worse and worse. And then eventually my ACL snapped one night, and I was in a match, me and Rey Mysterio against the Basham brothers. And then I was just fucked. But I felt like I let Vince down. I felt like, fuck, we're going to miss WrestleMania. Me and Rey Mysterio were having a lot of fun. I'm pretty sure we were the tag team champions. So I was really enjoying that. And now all of a sudden, boom, I'm going to be off for 6 to 12 months. I was very upset about all of that. Having said that, it was one of my favorite years of my whole career. I was so burnt out that I enjoyed being home. There wasn't a time when I was missing being on the road like a lot of the boys seem to go through. Never. At the end of it, as a matter of fact, at the 6-month point, which is the earliest you can come back, they brought me in to take a look at me, and I told them I needed another 6 months off. I said I want to be able to go right back where I left off and be able to spin around on my pivot and balance jump without worrying about my knee. And everyone I know comes back too early, then fucks it up again, and I don't want to be one of those guys. So they had Carlito injure me, put me back out again. You might remember that in Carlito's Pit, whatever the fuck they called it. And at the end of, what was it?
I think it's
They should've
Carlitos.
called it,
Cabana.
what's it called?
Carlitos Colt Cabana.
They should have called it the Big Apple.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Big Apple.
Oh, that would have been good too.
At the end of the 12 months, I didn't want to come back still. You know, they had to kind of coax me to coming back, and they called and they told me that the doctor thinks that I'm milking it, you know, or whatever. And it's like, fuck, you know, I can't get more time off. And so I reacted completely different that time because of just where my head was.
As a follow-up to that, did that kind of change your mindset too of regarding how you lived your professional life as a wrestler? Like, was it like, wow, I've been in the gears of it all, working constantly, and then I have this time off. Did it kind of be like, I don't necessarily need wrestling to kind of define me? Did that kind of put a different perspective on your career for you itself coming in? If that makes sense.
I don't think so. I think that my mind was always home, at least from my perspective, you know, where some of the guys can't wait to leave their family and get out on the road. Some of the guys can't wait to leave the road and get back to their family, you know. And even though I had like a shitty marriage and stuff, I had the perspective of thinking I'm going to treat this home life as if that's the real deal that's always going to be there. That's what I'm investing my everything into. And then this is work. Everyone, my friend, I'm sharing a ride with you one day. We're friends. Next week, hey, where'd Dom go? Oh, we got fired? Oh,
well, okay.
that happens all the time. So, you know, your family doesn't leave. Well, sometimes they do. But I mean, you know, it's like, as far as that goes, though, I had that in mind. Like, I never felt like I was untouchable. Every time they do the mass firings and people are like, I can't believe so-and-so got released. I always got to laugh inside because I never felt that way about myself. You know, I never would have been like, oh my God, they had all these plans for me. They said we were going to be doing this, and then boom, all of a sudden they don't have anything for me. What the me and my talent? You know, like I never ever felt that way. I think that takes a big ego. And so the people that let themselves get like that, I see how easy it would be. It's hard to navigate those waters and trying to balance between believing you're the best and then acting like you really believe you're the best when you're, you know, backstage or when you're out there. And it's difficult for, you know, for a lot of people to navigate that. And so I never thought, you know, I would be more like, oh, I didn't get fired. All right, that's cool. You know?
Yeah. It's like you can always expect, like, you never know. You just don't know.
Yeah. So I felt like when I was injured and got to stay at home, I felt like that was bonus time of being home. Hey, I get to sit in the house that I paid for and watch the TV that I bought, you know, and I really, really enjoyed that. And I was so tired of being in a different town every single day and flying and going through the airport lines and renting cars, and that the monotony of the job had burnt me out so much that I fucking loved it. I loved the whole 12 months that I was home, and I did rehab, obviously. You know, I did pro athlete fucking intense rehabs and then I did pick right up where I left, you know, boom, went right back to it. You never heard me complain about the frog splash, banging my knees up or anything after I went back at the end of 2005. So I'm glad that I did it the way that I did. But I always felt like I was away when I'm on the road, not when I'm home.
Yeah, that's interesting. Like,
well, the thing that makes me think, when you mentioned Kenny Omega getting injured, hasn't AEW had a lot of injuries? Doesn't it kind of give some credence to maybe the guys are given too much power to do what they want, and somebody should tell them to stop doing so much crazy? Is there anything that could be done to stop the injuries? Maybe tell them, hey, stop fucking acting like every match is WrestleMania. You know, maybe someone should bring them in a little bit.
Well, I mean, I don't have enough information to act like I know what hurt him or whatever. But I know when I broke my ankle, it was a simple baseball slide. Simplest moves, and a lot of wrestlers tell me that that's the way it is. They do all these high risk moves, diving, flipping, but it's simple baseball slide. You roll that ankle underneath, and it fucks you up. And so my ACL, I actually injured it first by slamming my knee into the cement. And then my ACL was just withering away until it finally snapped. When I just landed, it was a roll over the Bastion Brothers' back from a backdrop. I landed on my feet, and just landing, bam, it snapped, and I couldn't bend it or straighten it. It was like stuck at an angle, so I was very limited with what I could do.
And I know just Kenny kind of implied that it almost was like wear and tear, it seems like, on his body. Like he's been putting it off, and finally he was told he couldn't fight through the pain anymore. So, he didn't disclose what exactly it was. And he was set to, him and Jericho were pretty lined up to face Ricky Starks and Big Bill at this upcoming pay-per-view. So I think this was kind of unexpected almost. So he didn't disclose anything particular exactly what was wrong with him. But,
by the way, there's been some injuries during some of my matches that people watching would just have no idea, because they don't look like much. And then bam. And sometimes back in the day, like in ECW days, I didn't treat it like it was much either, which looking back, that was kind of, an asshole perspective to, like either I blame them or just, hey, it's part of the deal, whatever, because I never minded. I always liked black eyes, busted lips. I always liked it. I was taught that's good for the business. And so I never minded it when I looked like that. But I'm referring to some things such as Ronnie, people that aren't wrestlers that come to mind right now, like Ronnie, the Atlas security guy. One time during a pull apart, I was like diving, trying to get by him, and he's just, put his arm out to try to stop me, and it pulled his fucking bicep, and like for the rest of his life now, like he's fucked. His biceps like all shaped, and we bonded over that. But when it happened, I don't even think I really, acknowledged it that much. It was kind of just like, hey, you should stretch more. I kind of think that's how I felt back then. And like I said, I'm not, that much of a dick now. And I've talked to him about that since then, because he showed me like the scars and the pain that he's gone through. One time I took Doug Furness in a double chicken wing face buster that I used to do. And when his feet hit the chair slid right across the mat and hit, what's his name, Bob Ortiz, or the ring announcer from ECW, and the chair hit him, bam, right there. It slid right, he was sitting at the table, and it just came right, bam, and hit him like right there. And that was a freak thing to happen. But I remember kicking Jim Molyneux, the referee. I think I broke his nose. It's there's been a lot of camera guys, just people that have been like around, and you wouldn't know watching the match at all. But to that person, they're gonna always remember that.
They're not gonna forget that.
Yeah.
You're reminding me of an interesting independent wrestling story. One of the indie shows that we did had Beth Phoenix before she was Beth Phoenix. She was Firebird Phoenix. She would come down from Canada with the all-nighters, and she was in a match with one of our indie girls, and they set a chair up in the corner. And when she came running in, our girl dove down, and she hit it, and the chair split in such a way that the metal cut up the back. And cut up her back. So Beth Phoenix's back needed stitches, needed immediate attention. And us being independent wrestling promoters, there were things I handled: advertising, promotion, hotels, transportation, booking, etc. There were a few things my partner would handle, like having a doctor present. Well, he went around that and he had like a dentist or something, and so he didn't have the proper care for her. And that was something we never, like, Beth and I are cool. I saw her at a friend of ours wedding and we've talked and but that was such a shitty situation. And I didn't even know that he didn't do his end of it. But welcome to indie wrestling, right?
Jeez, holy crap.
Yeah. Here's this woman, she's bleeding. She just needs stitches. And like, I'm a dentist. I came because my kids like wrestling. Yeah.
Last night, well, actually, it was this morning in my gym. There's this, I don't know what you call it. It's a squat. I don't want to say squat bar because then you think you're going to put it behind your neck. Because Tim, you're a big fitness guy. You're going to automatically associate this with being in the gym, but it's something that like it's like a single bar that you hinge onto something, right? And then you lift it. You can do all kinds of shit with it. But anyway, I fucking stacked a whole bunch of weight on there, and I have it chained through my weight belt. And I felt inspired, to go heavier than I normally do, and give my legs a good workout. I'm doing the squats on this thing, so it's a thing that's coming straight towards me, and it's hinged on the frame of the workout equipment. So it's just hinged and it goes up and down just like an arm, right? Like an arm that's chained to me and it's got the plates on it. So it's like, you can lean back. You know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. Where do you pull it? Is it like you pull it up?
No, it's just a single. I don't know what the fuck to call it, but it's just a single bar, and so you hinge it, and all it does, because it's hinged, is all it does is move up and down, and so you can, but you put the plates on it, and then you can do squats without hurting your back, and anyway, it's pointed at me, and I have it chained through my weight belt this morning. It was like four this morning, or no, it was actually a little bit after 5. I remember now, but I go to start squatting up, and something snapped, and the bar went right down my body because it's like facing me, and it ripped. It shredded, but it ripped right through my shirt. It ripped right through my fucking underwear, and then my dick fell out.
Today?
What am I listening to? What?
It was like a fucking cartoon. It was like, and then my dick was like, there's an opening.
You were doing dick crunches this morning?
Oh,
I almost took a picture. I almost took a picture to show Katie because she's in bed 5 this morning, and I'm just like, oh my God, she's not going to leave this. And I'm like, I don't want a picture of me like that with my dick out. I've gone this long without having dick pics in my phone. I think I'll pass. I'll just tell her the story. But now I'm telling you too, because my shirt, my underwear, all of it just one big hole, like right down the middle. And thinking back, that could have potentially hurt me, I guess.
That could have been real bad.
So maybe I should sue somebody.
I think so. Jeez.
Always. That's the
American. Sue the owner of the gym.
Sue the owner of the gym for that dick machine that almost.
Yeah, I think that might be how that dick guy was doing the suplexes and stuff.
I think you're right. That's probably where
you can find
your guy. What's his name? You work with him. Ooh.
Did you work with him? You worked with Joey Ryan?
Yeah,
what?
Joey Ryan.
Joey Ryan.
Oh, Joey Ryan. Yeah, Joey Ryan. Yes.
That's how he got his dick suplexes down, and you don't even know.
Don't even know. Jeez. Well, speedy recovery to Kenny Omega. Don't use the dick machine.
Be well. Yeah. Be well, my friend.
Be well. Rob, something I wanted to bring up, and Tim, you can chime in on this too. This is an interesting one.
Wait. Dom, I'm sorry. About the Joey Ryan thing, you just reminded me. They released the pay-per-view that started the inspiration for AEW, and they removed Joey Ryan's match with the giant penises and all that. Oh. They removed it from which I think's bullshit. I mean, I'm gonna go on the record as saying that, because that was a storyline that was through the Elite, and it was a resurrection from the dead. All that. I don't like this revision revisionist history. You know, whether somebody wants to shit on the guy or not, I don't think it's right to remove Adam Page's match against him, which was part of the start of the damn AEW. So how do you feel about that?
What do you think about Babe Ruth's home run record? Isn't that the same thing? Didn't they want to strike him because he gambled, or do I got my guys?
Oh no, Barry Bonds. Speaking of Barry Bonds.
No, not.
Are you thinking of Pete Rose? Maybe.
Pete Rose. I was thinking Pete Rose.
Okay, because he gambled. Yeah.
Yeah. Dude, I don't know anything about what we're talking about.
History. It's like when you accomplish something, you did it at that time. You know.
Right. Okay, but I don't know the story about how AEW started or the giant penises. It's the first I've heard of any of this. But what about, like, say an MMA fight or a race, and then afterwards the drug tests come in, and then they take it from you because you failed a drug test? Same thing? Same thoughts or no?
Well, that was an internal, because that happened to Brock Lesnar. There's a fight Brock had where they reversed it later. He wanted
happens all the time. It's happened to the Diaz brothers. You know, it's like so many times, and it's not even with weed where it's like, really, is that gonna is that even an enhancement? You know, when you're fighting. I mean, anyway. Do you feel the same way about that or no?
It's interesting. I mean, I don't know, because I feel like there was a crime involved. Like, I'm talking about the steroid thing or any kind of enhancement. There was a crime. Then they acted out while under the influence. So I guess that's fair to take it away, since
a crime. I mean, crimes. That's
an distraction of the sport.
Yeah, right. I'm saying cheating. You know,
when it comes to the footage stuff, I almost feel that I'm kind of with you, Tim, in the fact that, hey, people did what they did, and you can't necessarily change that. Like, I mean, O.J. Simpson's not getting taken away. His Hall of Fame stuff's not getting taken away. He's not getting kicked out because of what he did.
He's not?
No, he's not. And then there's the other aspect, too, where he's like
acquitted, too.
Yeah, that's true, too. And so, but like, and if to maybe make it more relatable is like even Chris Benoit stuff, that stuff gets removed from the network, or like.
I was thinking, I mean, what about when you kill your family and yourself? Right.
So, like,
is it removed from the network? I thought there was.
I think they just
removed from everything, isn't it?
I thought they put it back.
I think they started removing them from the DVDs and the that kind of thing. I don't. He's still on the network, I believe.
I feel like it was a Hulk Hogan. Like, remember when Hulk was bad for, he's kicked out of the Hall of Fame for a year or two because he used the N-word and all that, and then he came back. So I feel like they've enhanced. I think the Benoit footage, you can find it on Peacock.
You can find it. I don't think you. I don't think you can search for him. I think that's what it is. I don't
really.
I don't think you can. I might be.
But have you tried searching by family killer?
Didn't do that.
No? All right. No. It pops right up.
But yeah, I'm kind of with you though. It's like if it happened, like the match happened.
Yes.
That's a part of the show. Bob, what we're referring to is All In, the original All In that took place in Chicago and stuff with Cody and the Bucks and all that stuff. That show that they put on. And Joey Ryan was a part of that show, and obviously the speaking out movement kind of happened, and JD's out of the business and all that kind of thing. So yeah, it's a very touchy subject. It's like, I'm not for that kind of thing a lot of the times. If the match happened, it happened, and you understand the person and their actions that they did, and they're responsible for that. And ultimately, you should still be able to watch the match. I kind of feel. I'm kind of
sure. I mean, if we wanted to, that would dive into the whole, how long are you supposed to be punished? Are you supposed to lose your livelihood because you had a bunch of sex hookups? There was never a crime. There was never it's almost like it became cool to hate the guy, and then everybody acted like they never liked him. But meanwhile, he had worked with Foley and Lawler, and everybody was on board for the penis stuff. And then suddenly overnight, he's the devil. Whatever.
It's a wild subject. It's definitely in a wild situation for sure. So.
Here's what I just put it this way. If I'm somebody's friend, I have their back no matter what. If tomorrow people tried to cancel RVD, I would still love RVD and have his back and talk good about him, and I don't care who says what.
What if I said N-word, 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 N-word?
Edward.
Well, that's the only way I would know it was you. Yeah. That's how we communicate. That's all we do when we hang out. You know that.
I feel like I have that.
Talk about Edward all the time.
That's right. That's right. Good old
Hey, there's something weird. You were talking. You just mentioned the Me Too movement, and I wonder if either of you guys are aware, because I saw this on one of the lawyer videos that I watched. Bruce Rivers. He's a criminal lawyer. Anyway, he's talking about P. Diddy, and P. Diddy's got all these accusations against him being, well, anyway, a lot of shit going down on him.
A lot of stuff.
And the lawyer Bruce Rivers said there's something right now, some law where everyone has like 1 year, and within 1 year you can bring up old shit that normally would have ran at statutory limitations and be expired. And so he said that's why all this shit's coming up right now. Like you got and I just thought that was like really weird. Like when was the official start, and like who knows about this, but he says that 1 year, and I got the impression that it started like in November or something. So but he was saying that it's he was using a term that I didn't know about, sunsetting. He kept saying it's sunsetting, so that's why it's 1 year. And I didn't know about that, and I didn't know. You guys don't know, right?
No, I'm not familiar with that term for it. I heard. I think I do remember that when hearing about the P. Diddy stuff was that like, yeah, it was under the statute of limitations or something like that, and they had to do something to address it or like get it out there and get in the legal process, or else they couldn't do anything about it or something. But I didn't know about sunsetting.
So. Yeah, it was weird. Yeah. He said that the purpose of this 1 year amendment or whatever the fuck it is, he said the purpose of it is to kind of like clear out a bunch of old cases that have just been sitting for years or whatever. And so people are coming forward,
I found the definition actually. So it says a program agency regulation to a legal provision under which it is terminated automatically at the end of a fixed period unless renewed by a legislative action. So, and used in a sentence, the Commerce Secretary has put forward a proposal to sunset the trade agreement every 5 years.
Okay.
Yeah. So
man, that's my producer, yo.
Boom. Laying it down. Man, I look like I'm smart on here. How about that?
Now I know. Now we're smarter.
Right. Well, okay, so we talked about wrestling VHSs. I wanted to talk about wrestling DVDs. And WWE is ending them. Did you guys hear about that?
Yes. Yes, I did. Yes.
They're ending physical copies of events and stuff like that. So if you want to get WrestleMania 40 coming up, you're probably not going to get a physical copy. It'll probably just be on Peacock or whatever. Rob, I actually have this DVD. I was using this as an image today. Is that one, the One of a Kind DVD?
Yes.
So,
that link, YouTube, Chris, put the link to that down below.
Yeah, that's a good one. There's some good but
they've been saying for at least 15, if not 20 years, the DVDs are out. Or on their way out, or they're gonna go, but it just didn't even seem real. Like, because it's been okay, they're still there. So
yeah.
Well, I have some insight into this because the man who put Rob Van Dam in the movie Wrong Side of Town runs a boutique DVD business nowadays. Oh. So he claims that there is a strong, like we're talking, people are making millions of dollars because they want all the extras, the bonus features, the deleted scenes, the commentary, and because of the woke culture, we're going back and re-editing movies, taking pieces and scenes out. So people want to hold on to the original copy so that they don't see some cut up copy on Amazon streaming. So that's his argument. But he's also kind of a nutball, so you never know with that guy.
Well, here's the thing too with wrestling fans. There's always that correlation of wrestling fans and movie nerds and comic book nerds and a lot of that stuff, and they're big collectors. So I'm pretty surprised that WWE is kind of like, hey, like I'm sure they know the numbers, and maybe it's the revenue that they're making it is not nearly enough, but it just would seem to make sense to have those for those type of fanatics that want to have a physical copy and like to collect. So I'm kind of surprised that they're actually discontinuing them. So,
well, tape trading was a huge thing back in the day. That was huge amongst.
Rob, didn't you do tape trading? Do I remember that? Is that right? Did you do tape trading?
I did not. I didn't know, but I mean, I knew about it when I was in EC Dub. That was in '96. I do remember after doing USWA in '91. I remember El Snow and Mike Kelly. I guess it was more Mike Kelly, his partner, but they were a tag team. But telling me, like, I don't know how I got it into the Wrestling Observer, but somehow he told me how to do it. Rob Zukowski, I guess, is looking for any footage of any of his matches from whatever, if anyone has them out there, and I might have got one or two from that. It seems like that's the closest I think that I've come to trade.
I would like to point out that I have just discovered the Jesse Hernandez School of Hard Knocks EWF Facebook page. Right there.
Oh, damn.
There it is.
Wow.
Still not believing it.
Right there.
What's the one in Burbank called then? No, look up the one in Burbank. Maybe.
You talking about Rikishi?
Yeah. Well, now it used to be. I think it's Gangrel's now, but I don't know for sure. But yeah,
Gangrel runs one in Florida, doesn't he? I thought he ran something in Florida.
Yeah, I also thought it was in Florida. I love, by the way, Gangrel's great. Isn't he amazing? He's such a okay. Oh, it's very similar. Rob, here's why.
Except for Knox is the XX. I know.
Yeah. I'm looking at it right now. It's Knox Pro Wrestling Academy. So one is School of Hard Knocks. The other one is Knox Pro.
Okay.
I thought Terry Funk was the School of Hard Knocks. Well, how I wanted to get from that, Rob, was branching off of that, was the rise and fall of ECW documentary that happened.
Great.
Yes, it's a great documentary. But the thing was, the DVD sold so well. This is what I'm reading here. It was I believe off the website that I work for, SE Scoops, was a feature piece. It says the DVD sold so well that it convinced Vince McMahon to do the first one-night stand show in 2005, and it wouldn't be long until ECW, albeit a different kind, was back on the air. Rob, do you remember anything about the rise and fall of ECW catching traction like that and being a big proponent for Vince to be like, hey, like, did that make him more accepting to kind of bring ECW back?
I think that it did, and my awareness of that was mostly after the fact.
Okay.
Yeah, so I had my own talks with him. It wasn't really mentioned, other than he told me that exact DVD is what trained the fans to chant ECW.
Is that what he
So
said?
other than that, it didn't come up. And then afterwards, I heard, that it did so well that was a big value that I didn't even know about.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, because I was curious about that. If you heard anything in regards to that, but yeah, you heard it after the fact. Okay. But yeah, that's one of the most famous, I guess, WWE DVDs to come out was that ECW one. So that's a good one. Cool. Well, I was going to cover a little bit of Randy Orton, but I guess I'll save that for next week. But I did want to touch upon, because actually yesterday, Rob, I don't know if you're aware of this, but was the 20-year anniversary of you and Randy Orton fighting at Armageddon 2003 to the day it was. So for the Intercontinental title. So
you act like I wasn't celebrating that all day.
It was a cake, yes.
Oh man, dang it. right after the Dick Machine too. It's what a busy day you had.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah, I saw that online though. They said that was his first championship in WWE. So I guess I was the IC champion going into that match.
yes, you were. Yep. Mm-hmm.
That would make sense.
I will add a few quick questions regarding just the championship itself. Did you have a preference how your name was shown on the belt? Because when I watched the match beforehand. So when I saw it at the end and they were putting the belt on, I noticed your name was on there, but it just said Van Dam. Do you have a certain preference of how your name is presented on a belt, or do you not give a shit?
Yeah, I don't think I care.
Yeah, I didn't think. It just stood out to me as weird. I was like, why don't they have his whole name on there? And I was like, oh, well, is there?
Yeah. Like RVD might be, but yeah, I don't know. Yeah, whatever. If someone else thinks it's a good idea, they probably feel stronger about it than I do.
Right. There's some belt fanatics probably feel a certain way about certain things, I'm sure. But okay. People have been saying even before I mentioned this was like how great you sold the RKO. Like just overall, you were one of the best sellers of the RKO. So Randy Orton's move. So pretty good stuff, Rob. You know how to sell, man. It's like
think everybody's moves the best.
Yeah. There you go.
Which could have really just been used against me, you know, like if it was back in the day of the jobber, you know, like that's one thing about taking everybody's finisher the best and making their finish look the best is that then they're gonna want to see you do that. Right. See you losing a lot, you know.
And some guys have been so good at selling that it hurt their careers, like Mr. Perfect. They often said because of his, you know, when you hit him and he flipped and all that, it became nobody believed he could win because he was so good at getting his ass kicked. That's what you're gonna see.
That's a good point too. Yeah, there's a lot of it. Yeah, he did become champion and stuff like that. You know, he was so good. Hey, we do have a super chat here.
I remember Seth told me one time that his curb stomp was on the cutting table. They were telling them to get rid of it. I don't know if it was hurting people with it or if they weren't taking it right or whatever. And when I did my return, I guess in 2014, I guess, and then I started eating it, you know, and he said that it was because of that he got to save it. So.
Really? So because they did ban it for a little bit. He changed it. He went to a pedigree instead, and he didn't do they did remove it. And I think that was more of a societal thing with curb stomping and the negative connotation that goes with that. But that's pretty interesting. So it's a good finisher. It's a good finisher. We do have a super chat here. RC Silverado says, thank you for the $5. RVD, if you can tell us about one of your best matches. We know, obviously, One Night Stand. We talk about that. Is there a certain other one that like kind of flies under the radar that you're really appreciative of, Rob?
Under the radar, because I talk about the Jerry Lynn matches a lot as well.
You talked about Bam Bam before.
Right. Love working with Bam Bam. I always tried to have the best match regardless of who I was in the ring with. So that's when I really was pulling everything together, was when my agenda was, man, what can I do with Spike Dudley? You know, and I would beat the shit out of him. And I would love the matches. Afterwards, I would feel just like I did if I wrestled Kamala or, One Man Gang or something, in the respects of, man, I love that match. It was awesome. The crowd was so into it. We did some amazing shit. When I could feel like that, regardless of who I was there with, that would be mission accomplished for me. I forgot that I had wrestled and met Mustafa before ECW. And until like recently, I had this memory. And it had to be Mustafa. It just had to be. And I looked up, and sure enough, he was in WCW with me in '93. We had a match in Pensacola, and we were both fairly green, young, and we're out there wrestling each other, and the lights went out in the building. And so that was like a true test, like, oh, fuck, what do we do? And, when it was, we handled it, you know what I mean? Like whatever he did, he had me in a headlock or a bear hug. I think a bear hug, for a lot of it when we were out. And Bill Dundee was the agent that, gave us props afterwards for doing it. And I'm not saying that was one of my best matches, but that just popped into my head because I totally forgot that was the same dude that would have been New Jack's partner in '96. That I had even worked with him before. But I always liked wrestling with Sabu.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. Then when we first came into ECW, we had a Matter of Respect match and came back and Hostile City Showdown. And I really enjoyed all of those. And I felt like each one progressed. That's how I was getting introduced to ECW, was feeling like give everything all you got because you'll think of something better next time. And so you don't save anything. And that's what being extreme was for me.
Yeah. No, it's pretty cool. We got to cover a few of the ECW matches, but there's a lot more to look at too. Back in the day.
So one of my this was the best match that I had at the time. This would have been, I think, 95. It could have been 96. RVD versus Danny Crockett in All Japan.
Oh.
Yes, this was my first chance. Said I wrestled for All Japan a lot. For some reason, that gets left out a lot of times of my career when it's being discussed. But from '93 till '99, All Japan was my bread and butter, and then I wrestled for a lot of other companies over there in Japan as well. When I say a lot, I mean that includes TNA and WWE as well, but and ECW, FMW, New Japan, IWGP. Anyway, it's I've been over in Japan like 22 times, I think, or 23 times. Or
something that just jumped out at me. Have you spent much time in Mexico? As a high flyer, it seems like you don't really mention Mexico that much. Like AAA, etc. Like,
I have always for like one shots. I never spent time like staying down there and like doing the circuit or being there for a length of time, like one or maybe a tour. If it was WWE, we might have like 3 shows of our show that we're bringing there, But this was the first time in All Japan that I got a chance to show myself in a singles match. They would protect you coming in and I was always in 6-man matches with Stan Hansen and Johnny Ace and Gary Albright and Johnny Smith and whoever. But this was a singles match, and it was at the Budokan, which is the big show of the whole tour, 17,000 people. And it was for the light heavyweight championship, or junior heavyweight, I think it was called. But Danny Crockett was the champion, and Danny, he liked me a lot. And he told me he was going to teach me a lot in that match and get me over. And that's exactly what he did. Man, that match was the first time that I could actually feel the building of a match. And he taught me the proper placement and making moves means something instead of just, diving out of the ropes to the floor right off the bat. Like everything was built so much that the crowd followed it that way, and the crowd got louder. And then at the end, when you're going for your false finishes or whatever, at that point, the crowd is like so into it. And it's awesome because they'll be quiet in between. And then when you hit the action, they all go, ooh, and then they clap with their feet in the stands. And then a thunderous, like, kind of, ooh. And he taught me like so much about that. And I did break his nose with a spinning back kick in that match. But he said that I saved him money that he would have spent on the street putting something up his nose, whatever that meant.
Don't know what he meant, but it means that. But, No, he was, and two, he got his start in Stampede Wrestling, I believe, too. And,
Probably so. He was from there, from Calgary.
yeah, he was a pretty big name. I think that was pretty well respected. I know he got inducted. I'm looking now. He got inducted into the Stampede Wrestling Hall of Fame in '95. But yeah, pretty cool. Yeah, you hear good things. Yeah, I bet you guys. Oh yeah, I'm reading it right now on Reddit here. Dan Crawford, Phil LaFon versus RVD in All Japan Pro Wrestling.
Yeah,
is it '95?
So it's June 9th, 1995. Wow, the match is up on Reddit. I'll have to share this link with you, Rob. So
June 9th. That's Dango's birthday.
Wow, guess how many stars Dave Meltzer gave this match?
4.
3.
Yeah, almost both. If we're playing Prices Right, RVD would win. It was 4.5 stars. So
wow,
down, Rob.
Right.
So there you go.
Standards are different then.
Yes.
Yeah, I learned so much though about the psychology of the match and just the story that we told, and feeling the crowd react in the way that he wanted them to. Abdul the Butcher would call him the master. He would say that like on the bus or whatever. Look, you're the master.
You're the master. How about that? Well, cool. No, that's a good way. Hey, that's a good. We'll have to look into that match a little bit more. I'm fascinated by that. And your All Japan tenure, yeah, you're right. It's like it's a pretty cool experience, I'm sure. Not only that, but like you did work with legends like Stan Hansen, but Giant Baba, you talked about him, how he recommended that you put boots on and all that stuff. Pretty big.
Yeah, and I worked with Kabashi and Masawa a lot. Akiyama, Amori, Kawada, Taue. All them guys, and who's the guy that did the shoot fight? Dude with the blonde hair that had like him and Don Fry had the fucking boom.
Yeah.
That Duke out.
I know who I know what you're talking about. They're like stiffing each other really, really.
Yeah, well. It's the most brutal. Like they data. Anyway, that guy I can't remember his name, but he was with us for a while in All Japan. Maybe he came over to work with Gary Albright, but yeah, there was a lot of guys that were on every single tour, and then there was some of us that would rotate. And I didn't like being over there all the time, but I made so much more money over there than I would in the States that I could go for a few weeks, then come back and take months off and still be fine. Back then when I had a $400 a month roach infested apartment.
Now you got some sweet ass lights behind you.
Yeah.
That Tesla.
Those are a little bit higher now than they used
to. Much higher now.
Yeah.
Well, cool. Hey, Rob, do you want to do an RVDology real quick?
Yeah.
Okay, cool. Yeah, what we do, Tim, if you're not familiar, what we do is it's just Rob solo here. He gives us some philosophical stuff and RVDology. He gives us some thoughts, and then we close out the show. But
can I hit him with a question? Because I've been quiet for so long, and I thought this would be fun. I've never asked Rob this, not off camera, not in our personal life. Sometimes, mostly in the WWE, when you hit the frog splash, you sell your stomach like, oh, fuck, that hurt me so bad. And then you make your way over to cover the guy. But you don't always do that. So, for example, in TNA, I almost never saw you. You would hit the frog splash and try to pin him. So is that something somebody told you to do? Why do you choose one over the other?
Everything's in the moment. I'm so committed to the mindset at the moment that everything plays out from there. And that's something that I recognize vacant in a lot of performers, because there's no room for what they're doing if they're committed the way that I was. There's just not, because when you're in that mindset and you really, it's like I believed in everything that I was doing. I was committed. I was experiencing it all the way through. So sometimes, man, I might bounce up and boom, land right back down on the guy. Or sometimes I might boom, hit him and roll off. And sometimes I might be winded too, and I might be like, boom. Oh, I'm so glad I finally fucking hit him. Let me just pin him. This thing should be over. I should be able to get a breath. Fucking roll over and cover him. A lot of times, it's like I'll aim for a corner where I know I got to turn 80 degrees this way, 90 degrees, or this way, or whatever. Or sometimes I go to the corner where I got to jump the furthest, and usually not so much in the indie rings and stuff, because those are really questionable. But I used to in like in WWE, and when I had a chance, sometimes I'd be like, you know what, this corner is too easy. I want to fucking go for that one where I have to go twice as far and spin, and it wouldn't necessarily be to challenge myself, although sometimes it would. Sometimes they'd be so far, I'd be like, fuck. Can I hit it from here? Like, did I just fuck up? Because I can't jump down now. I'm up here. Fuck. Yeah, sometimes that would happen, and I'd surprise myself, and I just barely hit him with my chest and bounce off. And it's all in the moment.
Reactionary. Good stuff. Yeah, good stuff. Cool. Well, yeah, it's time to wrap it up. Let's do an RVDology with Mr. Rob Van Dam here.
Yeah, I did. Did an RVDology episode on my YouTube page, which has gotten like a whopping 27 views. So, but the sound was fucked up on it too, so it's probably a pain in the ass to listen to, and most people probably turn it off. But anyway, the gist of that was, and Tim, I probably talked to you sometime over the last 4 years about this scumbag that was trying to shake me down, picked a fight with me, didn't like the results. Finally ended in a jury trial in my favor just last week. So that's really good news for me. One of the things that I learned a lot. One of the things, though, that's worth conversation, his lawyer, he seemed like a fan, and like he didn't want me to not like him, want me to like him. But he'd even say in between, he'd be like, like when we're, let's say, commercial break, for lack of a better term, he'd be like, yeah, I'm just doing my job, don't take it personally, just doing our job. And I'd be like, yeah, well, whatever, dude. And then we'd be back on and be like, RVD is a known murderer, terrorist, rapist, and he has anger issues, and he's not cool, and so yeah, I know, no problem, bro. But he would say, don't take it personal. And it's like, how do you not take that? Because that's how it felt like, the attack, everything that he was accusing me of that I wasn't. And that was exaggerating a little bit there, but you know what? That's one of the 4 agreements. You don't take it personally. And you know what? The more you can really get behind that and feel that, the better off you'll be, like just going about your day. Now, something like this is pretty personal, because the guy is legitimately trying to steal my life and take everything from me and basically just, move into my life. So that's pretty damn personal, maybe about as personal as it gets. But overall, we take a lot of things personally when we really shouldn't, sometimes we get in arguments with people, and we're so offended that they would say that, or they would do that, or they would believe this other person over you, or not even bother asking you and just assume this. Boom, we cut them off. If you really cared about that relationship, I don't know that you would cut them off. Like, what kind of ego anchor is it that's keeping that gate closed if you wanted it to be open? One of my friends last year, his wife came out to Vegas, and for some reason, we were going to try and get together, me and Katie, with her. Weren't able to do it, whatever reason or whatever. Man, he was so offended, took that so personally, and he was done. He was just like, I can't believe the way you disrespected her when she was out there, and boom, boom, boom. I didn't take that personally. He's telling me all this shit on the phone, and I'm like, I've known this guy too long. I'm gonna go ahead and give him give him a pass on this. And I did, and that was it. Eventually he came around and he's like, man, I'm sorry, I was going through this and that. I'm like, don't worry about it. Our friendship means more than that. No, not everybody. Some people, they say something and it's like, they don't get a pass. Sometimes someone will get a pass, but then if they bring it up again later and go back to the exact same thing, well, then it becomes real. Then it wasn't a mistake or an oversight. I've cut off a lot of crazy friends. I say cut off, but let's just say disconnected from. And one of them that comes to mind, this motherfucker, let's say he owed me money, didn't pay money. Much later, a misunderstanding, this and that, blah, blah, blah. But then when we fight, he brings it up again about, boom, I knew back then, boom, boom, boom. Well, I'm done then, because now you either are legitimately pissed about something that is part of me that I'm cool with, you know what I mean? Like, you don't want to, that could be anything. Or it's just not worth it. But as far as taking things personally, in the 4 agreements, if you know what I'm talking about, that's a book, and I bring it up a lot because it's awesome. I also just saw Michael Franzese and Chaz Palminteri. They did an episode talking about it too, so I thought that was really cool. But it's easy to take things personally, but if you try to consciously not let yourself do that because you know that you shouldn't, it's better to just shrug it off. You know what I mean? Like somebody comes zooming by you, your car, you're on the road, they come by you, maybe they're a little too close to you, they're going too fast. So many people automatically will just take that personally. Like, hey, look at this motherfucker. Why is he in such a fucking hurry? And it's like, you know what? They'll take it personally. There's something going on with that guy, and you don't know what it is. Maybe he is in a hurry. Maybe he's got a legitimate excuse, and if he doesn't, that's his risk. What if he did just pass you on the right side in the grass? Why the fuck are you going to be personally offended by that? That motherfucker took the chance. If he hits either a rock or a well or gets pulled over or whatever, that's on him. He took that chance. I feel that way about drivers whenever they zoom by me or whatever. It's like his choice. I could do that if I wanted. I don't get why other people don't, but they take it personally because they feel like, well, I have to stand here and wait in line, so should everybody else. But not really. If there's 4 lanes, and you can get anywhere that you want to go, So, I had a comic book store. Everybody knows this. It wasn't a successful business venture overall. It was something that was introduced to me first, put my name on it, or be a silent investor first, then put my name on it. Then why not get behind it and then really push it, do whatever I can. I had a lot of fun with the store. It was open about 3 years at 2 different locations at different times. And I had a lot of wrestlers help me out. They signed autographs, took pictures at my store, other celebrities too. But as a business owner, I sucked. I never opened the cash register once. I trusted everybody, kids that were working for me to get everything done. I had one guy that managed my store, and this guy ended up becoming a problem. Some of the other employees told me one time that this dude is talking to some of the children they're a little too young. And they mentioned this one girl that used to ride her bike to the store, and they said they caught him getting her phone number. They're weirded out. What should we do about it? So, holy shit. I don't have any experience dealing with any of this shit. Don't even have as much life experience back then. This was so long ago. What was this, 2007, 2007. Was it before I injured my leg? Sometime around then, I guess, 2004. Anyway, I have the pictures to prove it. All the wrestlers that were there. I get him by himself, and I question him. And he tells me that he actually needs me to know that I might be notified he's in a little trouble. Has something to do with some stuff that was found on his computer. I dive into the conversation a little further. This motherfucker starts telling me about some of his issues. You guessed it. He's into children running my store. You don't know what's going on with other people. You really don't. And I wouldn't have had a clue. Now, he told me that it was all in his head. He wanted to get help. He said he hadn't touched or gotten with anyone underage. And of course, boom, automatically you're gone. I couldn't just leave it at that. I had to follow up. I felt like I got to get this guy, Hub. What am I doing? Letting this guy out on the streets? He's going to, you know what he's going to do. And I kept checking back with him for the longest time. You know, and he was telling me there's help for the abused, not for the potential abuser. He said it was like so hard to find anyone. And I remember looking. It was a really weird and dark time. But as I shared the story with a few people, some people told me I'd bust that motherfucker right in his mouth. I would have beat the shit out of him. Now, how do they take that personally? What's going on in this dude's mind? I wonder how some of you feel about that. But when you think about it, it doesn't make sense. It didn't to me. I didn't take it personally. I mean, listen, this guy's representing me and my name. That is very much a potential problem. I can take that personally. But I believed him that at that point that we got it fixed before it became an issue. Again, if anyone, maybe me, but for other people just to hear it, they get offended. They take it personally. It's one of those crimes, even worse than you never hit a woman no matter what, or there's never a good reason or whatever. You know, this is one of the ones where people want to kill pedophiles. And now maybe he is. I don't know. I haven't talked to him in years. I don't want to. Am I obligated to? Fuck no. But that whole experience, like, I started talking. I told a few more people than I should have, probably. He should have taken that personally, I guess. Or maybe realized where the problem really lies and try and find it at the source. But remember this, dude. I didn't take it personally. I don't think I should have. Do you? I mean, this guy's telling me, like, boom, he's leaving, he's quitting, handing over his keys, saying, I got a problem that's progressing just from watching it. I'm so glad that that my wires aren't twisted and fucked up in such a way, as judgmental as that sounds. If you don't agree with me, you're going to be judged against too. That's pretty crazy, huh? You think we all know right from wrong? He seemed to know what he was doing was wrong, and that meant a lot. His future, whatever he does and chooses the rest of his life, I don't take that personally as if any of that is on me just because I knew this little thing about him. A lot of people would react differently, but keep in mind, like a lot of times, if instead of taking it personally, if you think it's the other person, you know, some drunk guy screams at you on the sidewalk, "Hey, motherfucker!" You know what? You could be offended, like he said some shit to me, or you could just be like, you know what? There's something wrong with that guy. Go with the second, you know, and a lot of times in life you can do that just to try to apply that. If I didn't take this personally, you know, it's on him, you know. You don't know what someone else is going through. You really don't. And even if you think you do, you only know part of it. So that's what I want to leave you with, you know, try and keep that in mind. Just like always, don't freak out about reprogramming yourself. If you're just aware of it and you just think towards it, recognize it, boom, it'll become bigger in your life. Don't take it personally. See you next week.
You can't take it personally.
Pretty heavy story to
very heavy. What a way to close it out. Holy smokes.
Well, that's why we love Rob Van Dam. That's why I love Rob Van Dam. Who's gonna talk about it and even dare to take the perspective of the pedophile? You know, I knew a guy, they call themselves minor attracted people, and he tried to tell me, like, you know, you can't say that you have these thoughts. Otherwise, like he said, people want to beat you up, want to kill you, well, then you don't get help. And what do you do with these thoughts? And you can't even bring it up and to discuss it in conversation. So that's amazing. Do you know who the comedian Mark Normand is, Rob? I was a part of Skankfest. Do you know Mark Normand?
No, I haven't heard of him before.
He's hilarious. He has a special on Netflix. You should check him out. He's kind of like a Norm Macdonald, but he does a bit about how lucky we all are that we're not pedophiles. He says, think about it. Think about the wiring. When you were 10, you liked girls who were 10 and you liked grape juice. Now you're an adult. You like adult girls, but you still like grape juice. And he talks about how that wiring, it's like, thank God you didn't. But anyway, that being said, I know you guys got to wrap up. Rob, you're a big fan of synchronicity. Check it out, brother. Look what I've been reading.
Wow. Dude, awesome.
Wow. No joke. My friend Brandon Ficara recommended I read the 4 Agreements because I was a little depressed chasing projects in Hollywood. There's so much BS about you. It's like you got a handful of lottery tickets and you never know which one's going to go. And so you're wasting time with Zoom meetings. Anyway, he recommended I go through this. It's become my daily mantra in the morning. I do those 4. I tell myself, be impeccable with my word. Don't assume that I know what other people are thinking. Don't take it personally. Always do your best. That's my mantra every morning these days. That's awesome, and it's literally been like the last month. Seriously. So what are the odds of that?
Wow. That's great. That's great, dude. That's what I'm always trying to push upon people is you got to reprogram yourself as an adult because life's different now. Your perspective has to be different now. If not, then you ain't going to make it.
If you're not adapting or changing, like there's something on your end.
Still think Santa Claus is coming down your chimney. You're not ready for life yet.
Wait, what?
No. It's true, Dom.
No. Say it ain't so, Rob. Say it ain't so.
So I'm going to take this opportunity. I'm going to take this opportunity to plug 2 things. I got a movie out there. It's called Hell's Coming for You. It's about a disabled bounty hunter. We shot it in Las Vegas. It's a lot of fun. It's on Amazon, Tubi, all that. If you watch it on Amazon, please leave a review. That stuff matters. I got a website, nudisthumorist.com, which is the naked comedy stuff. And as always, Rob, thank you. Dom, a pleasure meeting you. Yeah. I don't know a more smiley-faced guy in podcasting. That's
the reputation I have. It's on it. Really is. So, hey.
I have that effect on people.
That's it.
My ladies seem to smile, too.
Hey, there you go.
All 93 of them. In the same hot tub.
He did a super chat. Happy birthday to the Italian stallion, Dominic. Big Mac, thank you.
Hey, by the way, my birthday's fucking Monday.
Right.
Yeah.
Really?
Right. Wow. Yes, sir.
Man,
December the 18th.
Car, Rob, how do you feel?
What's that?
You're finally going to be able to rent a car. 26, man.
Yeah.
Awesome.
Yes, sir.
That
yeah,
sounds like a 26-year-old.
Yeah. Niwu is fucking shout out to Niwu. I'm a judge on this cannabis contest, so I got bags and bags of product from Niwu Cannabis, and these are buds here, all in jars, but there's all kinds of categories: edibles and pens and waxes and all kinds of shit. But that's something I do sometimes, and I'm judging and getting a bunch of product for it. Niwu is like the coolest fucking cannabis place in Las Vegas. Like Planet 13 is so big that Niwu said, "Fuck it, we're gonna add like fucking we're gonna add like concert halls." It's just so fucking big. There's an outside to it, which nobody has that. You're outside. There's a walk-up dab bar. Same thing with the flower outside. Several places inside. Pretty cool.
I gotta get away from Jardine. That's all I ever go to is Jardine. So
I do like it's called Hardin. I do like Hardin because the girls are so cute there. So that's the reason to go there for sure. It's like the Hooters of the dispensaries. Yeah. They are so cute, no doubt about that. But if you haven't been to Niwu, they're on Indian reservations, so that's why they have the lounge where you can smoke on site as well. No one else has that, so it's always been an issue here in Las Vegas, and still is for the time being, because you can buy weed anywhere, but you can't smoke it anywhere.
Oh, geez, yeah. Well,
if you're a tourist, you know what I mean? Like can't, hotels don't want you to smoke them up, so you got to either go outside, but I mean, I don't think people are getting busted like standing outside and shit doing it. I do, and I see a lot of other people do too. But at Niwu, I mean, they just have fucking ton. I don't know, thousands and thousands of square foot.
Oh shit! Fuck.
Oh, you're there. We can hear you.
Yeah, sorry, I had a fuzzy blurb.
Oh,
hey, I'm excited to hear what you guys have to say about the Von Erich movie. So I'm looking forward to hearing you guys' reviews on that.
Oh yeah, I saw an advanced screening. I actually just wrote a review, and me and my brother Marcus, we did a video review on SEScoops.com. So it's very, very heavy, obviously, as you could imagine.
I hear it's not historically accurate, but as a movie, it's really good.
Yes, so there's a lot. They took a lot of liberties, but this whole story gets across. There's an omission of their youngest brother, Chris Von Erich. He is not a part of the movie. That's probably the biggest omission. That is the biggest omission. But yeah, they take some liberties. But overall, it's a very telling story about the Von Erichs. And as a wrestling fan, you'll like it. As a non-wrestling fan, my brother says he thinks other non-wrestling fans would also like it too. So it's a good movie. Yeah. So keep your eyes out for it. I was very impressed. So a lot of neat aspects to it too, for sure. So cool. Guys, this was a lot of fun. Guys, if you like what you're seeing, comment in the section below. Give us a like. Follow Rob at The Real RVD. Follow the podcast at rvdpod.com. Chris, do you have any social media stuff? Chris, geez, oh man, I'm all over the place here.
Hey, it says happy birthday to the Italian stallion Dominic. Who's that? You?
That is me.
When's your birthday?
June 2nd.
Well, why does it say that then? Just for that?
It's an inside joke. Road Dog has a thing. He's like, whose birthday is it?
Oh. On my birthday, nonetheless. Okay.
On your birthday, I'm scooping your heat. Jeez.
All right. Yeah.
Good Lord. Tim, any social media you want to plug or anything real quick?
Well, I like I said, the movie, nudisthumorist.com. If you want to look for Timothy Chizmar on Facebook or Tim Chizmar on Instagram, that's great. You know, I'm always up to something. Tomorrow, I'm going to a party with Guns N' Roses, Afro Man, Sublime, a bunch of political people here in Vegas. It's going to be crazy, crazy going nuts. So I'm always doing stuff.
Cool.
You know what, Tim? You got to write something funny that me and Afro Man can do together, because he DM'd me and said, let's do something together. And I was like, that'd be awesome, but it'd have to be like really funny. And I was thinking of ideas, and I started thinking like, maybe I should contact Alex Perry, who did that. He wrote the Olympic tryout that me and Kurt Angle did.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, yeah, I was thinking maybe just ask, someone random like that who could come up with something really funny, because I don't really like my ideas, what I came up with. But yeah, because maybe I'll ask him tomorrow too, because I'm probably going there.
Hey, nice.
I hope so.
Katie says for sure. So
If you're not working out with your dick out,
I get it done before.
You get it done before.
Yeah.
All right, guys. Hey, we'll see you
All right,
next
guys.
time here.
Cool.
One of a kind. RVD. And Tim. And me. All right.
Later, everybody.